Good morning everybody and welcome back to I Loaf You. Today we are going to be making bao buns and it's a little bit of a time-consuming process, so we are just going to get started. Alright, so we are going to get started with our dough first. So we want to take our warm water and mix that with our yeast. And I'm going to just mix that a little bit with a fork because we want to let our yeast bloom a little bit before mixing it into our dough. So now I'm going to set that aside. And we are going to mix our flour, our sugar, and our salt. And now we just want to take our warm yeast mixture and we want to knead it into our dough. I'm starting with the fork and then I am actually going to knead this by hand. I don't want to use the mixture. I want it to get nice and smooth and beautiful. And I find that with something like this, sometimes it's easier to do that by hand. So we are going to knead that together and then I will cut back in here. Now when you feel that you have a nice smooth consistent dough, just want to return that to your bowl. And we are going to cover this up in plastic wrap. We want to put this in a warm, humid environment because you want this to rise while we prep our filling. So basically our next step is that we want to prep everything for our filling and we want to get it cooking. So we are going to get our meat and our vegetables ready to cook. So we're going to start the filling. So we want to turn our pan. I'm starting it on high heat with just a little bit of oil in the bottom of the pan. We just want to let that warm up to start with before we start adding in our ingredients. Alright, so now that our pan is heated up, the first thing we want to do is add in our onions. So we want to get these nice and caramelized. also going to add in some garlic, because you can never go wrong with a little bit of garlic. I'm going to add in just a little bit of shredded carrot. If you have something such as cabbage or anything like that that you want to add, now would be the time to do it. I am going to add in our pork. Alright, so our dough has doubled. It's nice and soft. So we are going to take it out onto our work table. And I am going to divide it up. This size amount of dough is supposed to make 12 buns. That might be a little on the small side, so I may make them just a little larger. We will see when we get there, but I'm going to start by dividing it into 12, just so I know what I'm trying to work with. So now we want to systematically just flatten these guys out, because we are going to take a rolling pin or something that can be used as a rolling pin to roll these out so that they're nice and thin and round. That way we can stuff them. water in our pan here. And we are going to bring that up to a boil and put our bamboo steamer on there so we can start steaming our buns. So now we want to open up our steamer basket, and we are going to line it with our non-stick paper here, and we want to arrange our buns without burning yourself. And without throwing them across the kitchen. And we'll put the next layer on and get our next layer of buns in.